ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
It is Tuesday, August 26th. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Our text line this hour, it's brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop. We do that every day at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Today was our weekly chance to talk to the head coach of the Thundering Herd, Tony Gibson. We're going to get his thoughts in just a few minutes on the upcoming game. Georgia, the opponent this week. Later on as well, we're going to talk a little track and field, cross country. We have got coming on the program because we've got a meet coming up, and so we haven't talked to anyone over there for a while. Braden Elswich, he's going to join us in the program, so we're going to talk to him about 5:30. Get the latest on what's happening for Thundering Herd with cross country, track and field. All the running sports are beginning to start back up for the Thundering Herd. So he's going to join us in just a little bit as well. So we'll do that. And as I mentioned, we'll get your text in as we've got day 2 of game week coming up tonight. For those of you that are not used to the change, we've got the Tony Gibson Show. That's coming up tonight. We will go on the air 7:05 right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Steve Cotton will have the head coach of the Thundering Herd, and he'll be available for your questions. That's coming up every Tuesday night right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. So a lot of good things happening today for the Thundering Herd before we get into Coach Gibson's comments. Good news for soccer, off to its best start in 16 years. Giovanna Souza named Sunbelt Conference Women's Soccer Offensive Player of the Week. She had 2 goals within the first 10 minutes of the match and the win over Ohio on Sunday. I think the Herd's given up, 1 goal so far? So she is the first Sunbelt Player of the Week for Marshall and soccer, women's soccer, since Kat Gonzalez back in October of 2022. So it's been a few years for the Thundering Herd. Also, if you're a Bengals fan like me, this is a good day. Kicking the can down the road just a little bit, but the Cincinnati Bengals and Trey Hendrickson, they've come to an agreement, at least for now. He's going to get a $14 million raise from the Bengals. He's going to have a salary of $30 million. He's also going to have a $1 million incentive that he collects if he plays 60% of the plays and the Bengals make the playoffs. So the Bengals have got to make postseason. He's going to have to be a participant in 60% or more of the plays. And so he is scheduled to become an unrestricted free agent after the season. I'm sure the Bengals would like to get something done, but there is thought, again, that guaranteed money is going to be the holdup, but at least we've got this resolved for the short term, and then you can figure out what you want to do. The Bengals starting to pay some players. I don't know if they're used to opening up the pocketbooks and actually paying players. And again, we're talking about the Cincinnati Bengals here. This is a franchise notorious for being what you call cheap. Like, for example, inviting Boomer Esiason, one of your all-time greats at quarterback, to the Ring of Honor ceremony. He's a member of the Bengals Ring of Honor. And oh, by the way, here's a discount code for your hotel room. Hope we can make it. Not even providing transportation for him. After all, there's only a few of those guys that are in the ring. He's one of them. And guess what? They're expecting him to pay the way. Now, okay, on the flip side of this, if it was, hey, Paul, we want you to come to the Ring of Honor ceremony, here's a discount code. I'm sorry, I can't make that. I could possibly get to Cincinnati. I'd have to get a rental or something. I don't know if I can afford to stay the night, or at least, wherever the group hotel discount rate is. I'm sure it's pretty pricey to begin with, but okay, it's going to cost me some money. Boomer can afford that, obviously, but I think it's the principle of the matter. Here's a guy that took you to a Super Bowl. The Bengals have yet to win a Super Bowl, so you don't have a Super Bowl winning quarterback in your ranks, but you do have a quarterback that has taken you to the Super Bowl. But that's the good news there. So 1-year contract extension for Trey Hendrickson. That's going to be $30 million total. He's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. And the Bengals could also drop that franchise tag on him. 2026, you want to get this thing done, let's drop that franchise tag on him and go that direction. Your wide receivers are taken care of. your quarterback is taken care of. And, of course, by the way, the 53-man roster is complete. And so we'll find who clears waivers before we figure out who's going to be coming back on the practice squad. And speaking of squads, everybody's been asking, everyone has been wondering, the depth chart is out. The Marshall Thundering Herd game notes have the depth chart. Everybody releases the depth chart usually on Tuesdays. And the big question, you know what it is. Who's going to be the quarterback for the Thundering Herd on Saturday? If you look at the depth chart, the quarterback position is going to be Carlos Del Rio Wilson or Jaquai Long or Zion Turner. Lots of ors going on when it comes to the depth chart. So nothing is 100%. Coach talked about that earlier. He'll find out around 3:30. We'll find out around 3:30 on Saturday.
Yeah, it is. You guys will know at 3:30 on Saturday along with me. But, I like all three of our guys. Carlos obviously is, he's got some experience. Zion has started games. Jakai is the young guy, has a big arm. So, and they're all a little different with what they do. So, you may see all three of them, depending on how the game goes. And we're not going to let one guy sit in there and struggle all day. If he's not moving the ball, then the next guy's going to go in, and we're planning for that right now. So we have a plan for all three of those guys and see where we're at.
I still think Carlos starts, but I like the game plan. We don't know who's going to be the starting quarterback. You'll find out when we find out, when Georgia finds out. And just because one guy starts doesn't mean he's going to finish. You got to make sure that Georgia's got to key in on three quarterbacks. Now, they've got the depth. They've got the talent. They can key in on anybody. Scheming them up is what you're going to have to do. So we'll find out on Saturday who's going to be the actual starting quarterback for the Thundering Herd. But we'll hear more from Coach Gibson in just a few minutes. 304-396-TALK is our text line, 304-396-8255. Texter says, hey, Paul, getting excited about football. Who is this year's Mike Green? Who is the sleeper that you think will emerge as a stud with the Herd? Your opinion, obviously. I appreciate that. Thank you. You know who I like talking to today? I don't know if he's going to evolve into the stud that you're talking about, but I like talking to today Marvay Myers. We'll hear more from him this week. He really impressed me, and already based on just my interactions with him, I'm hoping for big things for him. Katron Evans, I like talking to him today, and so he's going to be on the defensive side, nose tackle. I think he could be somebody special. He might be the guy. So I'm going to circle those two guys. It's obviously based on the fact that I talk to them, and I like talking to them, and I hope to see more of them. So I like them. I really like talking to Eric Meeks today as well. Some of the guys we talked to, he was one of them, and we'll hear more from him this week, just as a tease to what we talked about earlier in the morning. But I think Meeks will be a big deal. He's a center, so he's going to be someone you're going to have to depend on. And you know who I'm really expecting big things out of, and I'm hoping for big things out of? Well, one, Toby Payne. Definitely looking for him. But I think Jalen Slappy is going to have a really big year. He looked good today. I talked to him along with Toby and a few of these other guys, and Jalen looked really good. Whatever that conditioning program is at Marshall is going on right now, it's doing wonders for these guys. Some of these guys I recognize, but I'm like, they look really good. And so I like what they've been doing in the offseason now. Of course, you got to start putting it all together, and this is going to be the biggest test that you'll see for the Thundering Herd in quite some time, taking on Georgia. But those are some of the guys I talked to today, and I'm hoping that they turn out to be really key members of this team. But Coach talked about this depth, and it's a tool for him. Just because you got Eric Meeks as your center, you know what? Evan Ferguson might be right behind him. You can see some movement in this depth chart, and we'll get into that a little bit more when we continue. But, yeah, I'm excited for a few of these guys, especially talking to Marvay Myers. We'll hear him later on this week. He's always marvelous. That's the big thing I got from him today. You ask him how he's doing. He's marvelous, and he explained why he's always marvelous. And it really wasn't pretentious as well. It's just how he lives his life. And it was infectious. So I'm hoping big things from him because I want to talk to him more almost every week if we can. So we'll get to Coach when we continue. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. And then later on, we're going to change our gears just a little bit. We've got cross country coming up. We're going to do that later on in the show. But when we continue, I got Coach. We'll do that here on The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Eat, drink, play, repeat. Only at Dave & Buster's. Monday, all-you-can-eat wings for just $22.99 and a $10 power card is included. Wednesdays, half-price games from open to closed. Plus happy hour Monday through Friday from 4 till 7 and late-night happy hour Sunday through Thursday from 10 to close. Featuring $5 domestic drafts, wine by the glass, and select cocktails, including top-shelf Long Island iced teas. Eat, drink, play, repeat. Only at Dave & Buster's Huntington Mall.
Hi, I'm Elise Smith, First Lady of Marshall University and founder of the Women Warrior Summit. As a woman of Appalachia, you know how much strength it takes to shift direction, especially when you're carving a new path forward. Maybe you've been thinking about changing careers, going back to school, or even refocusing your energy on something you once loved. I am so proud to announce that the Women Warrior Summit is back for its third year, where we'll be focusing on the power of pivoting and how to approach life's turning points with clarity, courage, and intention. We'll hear from journalist, author, and entertainer Hoda Kotb, explore Jenny Blake's coveted pivot method, and even talk about how AI can support our next steps, whatever they may be. Join us Friday, October 24th at the Marshall Health Network Arena. Visit WomenWarriorSummit.com to learn more. I hope to see you there.
The soundtrack to your summer is back. Mount West 9th Street Live, downtown Huntington's favorite Friday night tradition. Presented by Michelob Ultra and White Claw. This Friday, it's the final 9th Street Live of the summer, with live music from the heavy hitters on the Marshall OBGYN stage. The Little Caesars Kids Zone is back, and Gomart Happy Hour starts at 5. Enjoy food and drinks from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe, Sip Downtown Brasserie, and Summit Beer Station. Bring your friends, bring the family, celebrate the season, and soak it up before summer is officially gone. 9th Street Live is driven by University Ford and built by Cardinal Roofing. Every Friday night through Labor Day, 9th Street in Huntington, in between 3rd and 4th Avenues. Sponsored by Delta Hotels, Wendy's, Mountain Mindful, City of Huntington, Marshall University, Blinko Glass Company, Marshall Health Arena, and Kindred Communications. This Friday, it's the final night of Mount West 9th Street Live with the heavy hitters.
Hi, I'm Nori, and over the years, my mother and I have opened our homes to those who need it most, and it's been so rewarding. I bet you didn't know that some adults who have unfortunately been mistreated need a place to call home in West Virginia. It happens more than you know. They may have some physical or mental limitations, and they need your help. Everyone deserves a place to call their own. I can tell you from my experience, it's worth it.
If you have an open heart and want to open your home, adult family care may be the right fit for you. Call the Department of Human Services and ask to speak to an adult family care home finder at 304-269-6820. Sponsored by the West Virginia Department of Human Services, the West Virginia Broadcasters Association, and this station. This project is supported by the Administration for Community Living, ACL, of the United States, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, as part of a financial assistance award totaling $1,227,345, with 100% funded by ACL HHS. The contents are those of the authors and do not necessarily represent the official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL HHS or the U.S. government.
Hey Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. It's that time of year for March basketball. Frank's has you covered from the Sun Belt to the SEC, NBA to the MLB. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials they have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund reading.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Brought to you by Understood.org and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Miss an episode? Catch it anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Our text line this hour, it's brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop. It's 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. You're going to want to have that number handy next week because we're going to start giving you opportunities once again to win tickets to go see the Thundering Herd all season long. So get back in the habit. Have that text line ready to go in your phone because I'll be giving tickets away to next week's game starting on Tuesday. Of course, Monday being Labor Day, and we won't be here. So we'll be back with you on Tuesday. Just kind of give you the heads up now. So as we get your texts coming in, we've got Coach Gibson, his first weekly press conference with the media earlier today. And the tone, you kind of already maybe got a feel for what that tone's like. It's different than Coach Huff. Coach Huff, he would take maybe 2, 3, 4 minutes to make a statement. You'd ask him a question, that would go at least a minute, 2 minutes. And there was always a lot of talking along with that answer. I get it, understand. Trust me, I am well aware of the filibuster and how to use it and how often you need to go to it. But different tone with Coach editing his opening statement. And that's the platitudes. Hey, yeah, good to see you guys here. That kind of stuff. And, okay, I'll take your questions. Editing his opening statement, it was succinct. It was to the point. It got the details across. And I think it was like 28 seconds. Here's what he had to say as he opened up the presser for Georgia week.
Obviously, it's a big week for us. I'm excited it's game week finally. Been waiting a long time. It's not very hard of a game that we're getting ready for either. So, everybody's relaxed around here right now. But, no, we're looking forward to playing a great opponent, top 5 at their place. I don't think they've lost a home game there in either 4 or 5 years. So, obviously, going to be a challenge. But I'm excited to watch our guys play.
Simple, to the point. That's how the presser went the rest of the way. So, we got down to a lot of business early. First up, what's that opportunity going to be like? You're at Georgia for these players, and Coach has said this a few times. A lot of these guys think they should be playing at Georgia. They think they could play on this level, so now they've got the opportunity to kind of show what they're all about.
Yeah, I think, a lot of our kids think they can play at that level, so they're going to get their opportunity. And, again, we'll see where we're at very quickly, and I'm really looking forward to watching our guys and seeing how they're going to react. Good plays, bad plays, and the one thing that I keep telling them is I just don't want it to be sloppy. No pre-snap penalties. We just have to go play a clean game and try to win one play and then try to win another play. And that's kind of my message where we've been this week.
One play at a time. Go win the next one. One play at a time. And so the opportunity presents itself. You talk about opportunities. The last time Marshall had a major opportunity to go into I don't want to say hostile environment, but a major college football environment, and that was Notre Dame. That was probably the last real big one that's on par with Georgia. And Marshall won that game. Now, you can't keep living off that, oh, yeah, hey, Marshall beat Notre Dame. I mean, that was great for a while. It was short-lived as Marshall lost to Bowling Green right after that. But you have that. Trust me, they had the frame photo. You can buy that, I think, still to commemorate the win against Notre Dame. And so this would be something that's a little similar. And so Marshall has a history of upsets, but how much does that really play in? Do you really bring that up much that, hey, Marshall's done this before? Coach talked about that when he was asked about Marshall having sort of that history of going into places and maybe pulling out an upset now and then.
Yeah, I think, our guys know. Everybody still talks about Notre Dame from a couple years ago. And I've heard it 100 times in the last couple of weeks. That, last time we went down there, we lost 13-10. So, Georgia was a little different team back then, and Marshall was too. So, but, obviously a great opportunity for us. And I've said all week long or all month long, we're not going down there just to collect a check. We're going to win the game. Can we? That's the unknown right now. Are we going to fight? Yes. So, that's what I've been putting out to our kids.
Could happen. I don't know if you can live off that too much longer. Hey, Marshall's beat Notre Dame. I mean, that was great, and it's going to go down as one of the all-time great wins for Marshall program history. But I don't think you can point it out. Hey, Marshall's done it before. This is a new Marshall team, new coaching staff, not even the old coach. This is the new coach, the new players. There might be a little bit of, we've been here, we've done this before on this team, but not much. So you're preparing for Georgia now. You can go into different atmospheres and you can compete. You've done it before as a program. That was then, this is now. So how's this team reacting to that challenge? You're getting closer to the start of actually having a game to play. And Coach said that this team came out on Sunday and had a lot more juice. It was a different level of juice, and that was something that excited Coach Gibson.
There was a different vibe when we took the field Sunday night. And I told our coaching staff, I told them sitting in this room before we went out to practice, we have to have a different level of juice because we're going to need that. It's going to be us, and we'll have, I know Marshall fans travel well, and we'll have our little corner of green, and we're walking into probably 90,000. So, we're going to bring our own juice, and it's going to be different for these guys. A lot of these guys haven't played in this big of a stadium against this kind of opponent. And we have to make sure early on, again, that our emotions don't play into this thing. We have to stay the same. Whether we score, turn it over, whatever it is on the first drive, we have to just be able to continue to go play that next one and not get too high and not get too low.
Speaking of that first drive, I was going to save this one for later, but I think it fits now. You got to have some early success with those running backs. And if you listened to the show yesterday, we had comments from Coach Kirby Smart, and he had a lot of nice things to say about Marshall, especially those running backs. And that's going to be key for Marshall, trying to get some early success with those guys on the ground. And, Coach, I know this isn't really the game plan. Maybe it is, but he kind of laid out, hey, look, if I could go a long way down the field with those running backs, just churning out the yardage with those guys, that's going to be a good first drive for this game. And he elaborated more about how much he loves that running back room.
Yeah, I'd love to open the game up with about a 6-minute drive and get some points. That would be – I couldn't script it any better. So, but, yeah, I love our running back room. Coach McDowell's done a great job with those guys. And, there's going to be opportunity for 5, 6 guys to touch it on Saturday. And let's see who the best one is. And we're going to have to use them all, as we know that we're in a tough league and opening up with this opponent in the SEC. I mean, we're going to get banged up a little bit, and we have to be able to roll guys and not drop off.
Coach, you have a lot of new.
You look at the depth chart, game notes, you have 5 guys listed. They're all oars. You're going to see Jashawn Barbie or Antoine Roberts or Mike Allen or Tony Mathis Jr. or Justin Williams-Thomas. You're going to see or. You're going to see a lot of guys, I think, on Saturday. Quarterback position as well. We might see all 3. They're planning for having all 3 with game plans ready to go. And if I'm Georgia right now, you're trying to figure out, okay, we're going to have to do a lot of adjustment on the fly. We're always going to have to prepare for the game with ourselves, as you heard Coach Smart talk about yesterday. But he did admit, you know what? We're going to play these guys, and we're probably going to make a lot of on-field adjustments, first-quarter adjustments as well. Texture says, Paul, why is it always just beating Notre Dame? What about Clemson, South Carolina, Louisville, Kansas State? I know there are more also, but those were all away. Also, how many tickets did Marshall get, and do you know if they sold out, and will the band go? I didn't get the number on tickets to answer your question. There should be a good amount. I mean, you're not going to get that many, but I think Marshall did well with its allotment. I didn't hear of Marshall sending any back. Again, I don't have all the ticket details. They're not actually forthcoming with all those details. I don't think the band is going to go. And to your point, Notre Dame's probably the bigger win right now. That Clemson team, didn't it go, 6-6 that year? South Carolina, that was a good win. Not the same level of Notre Dame. Louisville, important win, not the same level of Notre Dame. Kansas State, good, important win, not the same level as Notre Dame. If you look at which one's the one you're putting on top, you're shining that one up the most. I think right now everyone's shining up the Notre Dame game because it's Notre Dame. Notre Dame is college football. Notre Dame is and always will be. Even though a lot of people hate Notre Dame, a lot of people love Notre Dame. We will get more from Coach Gibson when we continue. Also, we'll get your text in 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. But when we continue on the program, we're going to be speaking with Braden Elswich. We have got cross country starting back up for the Thundering Herd. He's going to tell us more about what we can expect this Friday with the Herd Invitational. That's when we continue on today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Head back to school in style with James Family Outfitters back to school sale going on now. Step out in style with 25% off sandals, Clark's, Skechers, Spring Step, and Blowfish. 10% off jeans, Carhartt, Ariat, and Timberland Pro. Athletic sandals now 10% off. Under Armour, Sanic, Crocs, Hey Dude, and UFOs. James Family Outfitters has you covered with the best back-to-school deals. Stake your claim. See the folks named James, 507 Caramel Boulevard, Grayson. Visit online at jamesfamilyoutfitter.com.
Summer's winding down. Your lawn's slowing up. And the leaves, they're already starting to drop. Robert's Lawn and Landscaping doesn't miss a beat. From final cuts to full fall cleanups, fresh mulch and winter prep, they've got your yard handled before the seasons change. Reliable, local, ready for what's next. Lock in your fall services now with Robert's Lawn and Landscaping. Visit robertslawn.com. Robert's Lawn and Landscaping, where every season starts strong, reliable, local, and ready for what's next.
Now in stock, hard-to-get Chevrolet Traxxas, over 50 available. More coming, starting under $23,000. The Car Ferry says clear the lot, 2026 is on the way. GMC 2026 Terrains, 40 in stock, up to $1,800 off. Mark Porter Chevy GMC in Ashland, Kentucky and Pomeroy, Ohio has truck. Take up to $14,000 off. 2025 GMC Sierras. Offer includes $3,500 owner loyalty rebate. Must own 2011 or newer Buick or GMC. Come to Route 7 and Route 33, Pomeroy, Ohio, or Greenup Avenue, Ashland, Kentucky. Over 800 GM vehicles available. Car dreams do come true. Sale ends September 2nd, all rebates to dealer.
Hey Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. It's that time of year for March basketball. Frank's has you covered from the Sun Belt to the SEC, NBA to the MLB. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials they have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Looking for the ideal office space? Well, the Kindred Capital Building may be your solution. From a one-person office to a large staff at the Kindred Capital Office Building, it could be the perfect fit for you. With off-street parking and all utilities included, the Kindred Capital Building is perfectly located near the courthouse in downtown Huntington at 555 Fifth Avenue. If you're an attorney, medical, or professional services provider, a perfect location. Call 523-8401 and a representative will match you to the area's premier office space. Your office space is just a phone call away.
Hi, this is Dave Wilson, host of Metro News Talk Line, and you're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Thank you, Dave. Don't forget, coming up tomorrow, Talk Line, 10:06 here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We've got soccer already underway. Football is going to begin its season on Saturday, and we've got cross country to start talking about. The Thundering Herd Invitational takes place on Friday, 6 o'clock for the women, 6:30 for the men. And to tell us more about the upcoming season from Ono, West Virginia, out of Cabell Midland High School, Braden Elswich joins us. Braden, thanks for doing it today, and looking forward to it. Hey, we're getting the season underway.
Absolutely.
How excited are you? Just we are here once again for this.
It's my third year. Looking forward to it, getting better each year. Love this team. Got a great group of guys, great group of coaches, so I think it's going to be great.
What's improved over those last few years for you personally and this team is there's been a lot of emphasis on track and field, cross country over these last few years at Marshall University?
Yeah, definitely getting used to the whole new system and stuff. Stacking miles was a lot different, transforming from high school into college. But as a team, just coming together, getting to know each other, we really try to become closer as a team. That helps us helps us with our success more as we go on.
Where do you think you're at right now? How have you personally improved over these last few years to this point?
I definitely think I've gotten stronger as a runner. Definitely running more, lifting more, and definitely just being around a bunch of guys that push me every day definitely makes a difference for myself.
Talk about this coaching staff. It's changed over the years, and as I alluded to, there's more emphasis now than ever on cross country, on track and field. And the potential's always been there for Marshall, but it's really started to explode. And you've been right there in the middle of it. If you could just talk about that journey from where you started. You wanted to come to Marshall because it was close to home, and it's really become a hotbed for track and field and cross country.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming into college, didn't know what to expect of it. I was a little nervous, obviously, but the coaches are great. Coach Bowen is one of the best coaches in the conference, best coaches in the country. He knows what he's doing. He really pushes us. But Coach Roberts, he's a championship coach. He's coached at all different types of levels. And yeah, without him, this team wouldn't be what it is. He really strives, puts everything he has into this team and this program, and it's definitely on the rise, and it's just going to continue getting better.
Could you imagine yourself anywhere else other than with Coach Bowen?
I could not. No, Coach Bowen, he's my guy. He's the best coach.
What makes him so special to a runner? Everyone always has something great to say about him. What is it about him, maybe that intangible, that he brings to the table that no one else does?
Yeah, so he's a runner as well. So he understands what we're going through. He just tells us to trust our body and listen to our body. So he just understands what we're going through, how we feel, and he's just a very supportive coach through it all.
He also goes through some crazy events. What's that one that you run 24 hours, or what's that event he was in recently? The one where he had to spend days and out in the wilderness or something. That's the kind of guy he is.
Yeah, he's a big ultra runner, which is 100+ mile races, which is crazy. I don't think I could do that myself, but he's definitely tougher than all of us. But yeah, that transfers over to us. He pushes us like that.
You can take him though, right? You think you could?
I think so. Yeah.
I'm sure he'd love to hear that. How has he helped you just from an athlete standpoint to get better? It's great you can have a coach you can relate with, that you understand each other and you can communicate with. But from a performance standpoint, where have you seen your most growth and your most improvement?
I would say it all starts in the summer. We get our training plan from him. We talk to him. We communicate real well. But really just putting more miles on my body, running more, running longer, time on feet, I think has helped me. Just where our races are longer now in college, just doing all that extra stuff in the summer and winter really makes us what we are.
Now, of course, you came from Cabell Midland High School. There is a long line of track success at Cabell Midland High School. So you could have went anywhere. You made the decision to stay closer to home. Was it because it was close to home, close to family? Coach Bowen maybe had a little influence in that as well. What was your journey to get from Cabell Midland to Marshall and to stay home?
Yeah, so I've always been a big homebody guy, and obviously, it was the closest to home. But just coming here on the visit, meeting the team, meeting the guys, this community loves its sports, loves everybody. So, and especially the coaches, they were great. And just overall, I was a big fan of this school when I came and toured it.
Now, the good thing about what's been happening at Marshall is we now have the Thundering Herd Invitational, and that's taking place on Friday. It's hard to imagine years ago that Marshall would be able to put together so many events. This is one of them. Just what has that meant to you to be able to compete at home in front of friends, family, and represent Marshall? Because you got a great facility, indoor, outdoor, everything seems to be improving as the years progress. And Marshall now is a player in the track and field and in the cross country space.
Yeah. This meet, I think this is the third year it's gone on. It's getting better each year. We're figuring new things out about it, fixing the course, and luckily being close to here, we get to practice on it, prepare on it. And I'd say this meet means a lot to me. Like you said, it's very close to home. A lot of my family and friends come out, which is nice because in college you don't get a lot of that home meet stuff in cross country. You usually travel. But having this just allows all my friends and family to come support. And that's cool, just seeing everyone there because they're all proud. They're all happy to cheer me on, obviously. But, yeah, these facilities are great, and they just keep getting better.
And you're going to have all that excitement, obviously. But at the same time, as you just alluded to, you don't get that everywhere you go. And, cross country, sometimes you've got to be a solitary runner. You're out there and you're tackling the course, but at the same time, you're probably tackling – whatever the mindset is for the individual runner for you, what is that?
Yeah, it gets very mental when you're running, especially these longer races. You get out there and you start to hurt, and it's just you just got to talk yourself through it because that moment you give up, you tell yourself that you're hurting, you feel bad, then that's when it goes downhill. You just mentally got to talk to yourself, push yourself through it. And that's what these coaches tell us. It's all in the mind, and that's most of the race. It's just the mentality of it. It's more of the mental aspect than it is like the physical aspect that gets you through.
What's your process to get ready for an event like this?
So an event like this, I'm obviously going to get some good sleep, the whole week, hydrate, of course. And the day of, just rest, stay off my legs, and just really get dialed in for it. Should be a good one.
Do you, is there anything you like to do to maybe relax, to focus a little bit more? As it is mental, is there something that you do to kind of put yourself in that right mindset?
Yeah. So before every meet, I have a ritual. Pasta, of course, and then that day of, if it's an evening race, I like to sleep in, get some good, at least 8 to 10 hours of sleep, have a big breakfast, and I don't like to have a lunch. I have a later lunch, and then the rest of the day, I just chill with music, listen to music, just to calm me down, because the nerves are there. As soon as I wake up, the nerves are there, so I try to calm myself down and just think through it.
Okay, pasta. We talking spaghetti, fettuccine? What are we talking here? What kind of pasta meals?
So just spaghetti. My mom's famous recipe.
Okay, so Mom's now got to put some spaghetti together for us. We need to find out how famous that recipe is. Does she cook for the
team? She would definitely.
Okay, let's do it. Does she cook for the team? Just you?
So actually both. Last year, before every cross country meet, I hosted the team where I'm local, and she loved it. She loves the guys, loves the girls. They all came to my house. We bonded. We had dinner, had desserts, and it just helped us all calm down and just come together as a team.
Okay, so the pasta, spaghetti, that's the meal. The music, I'm not even going to get a guess. What's the playlist?
It just depends on the day. The day of, before the race, I'm just listening. I like country. I listen to country, something more relaxing. But as it goes on, closer to time, I get to something more hardcore that's just getting me hype.
Okay, so a little, I don't know, rock, a little metal, country music, mix all that in, just ramp up as the day progresses.
Yeah, correct.
I like it. I do like it. Our guest on the program, he is a local native of the area, Braden Elswich. He's going to be part of the Thundering Herd Invitational that's coming up on Friday, and of course then on Saturday. I don't know if you've heard, there's this country music concert going on Saturday at the football stadium. And you're a country guest. I'm sure you're familiar with that.
Oh, absolutely. I'll be there. I'm missing my brother's high school meet to go to it, so it should be a good time.
Wait a minute. You picked a concert over your brother's high school meet.
It was a hard decision. I still feel bad about it, but he has a lot of meets this year. It's his senior year, and then there's only one time. It's the first time concert in the Joan C. Edwards, so I don't want to miss that, but I'll definitely be cheering him on from afar.
Okay, so he's got more. You can catch up with him anytime. And so he's your little brother, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so the concert comes first, obviously.
This time it does, yes.
Okay, just one time there. Hey, thanks for doing this today, Braden. We appreciate you coming on, talk a little bit about what's coming up this season for you. It's going to be fun on Friday, and I'm excited for you because this is great that Marshall continues to do this and support student athletes like yourself.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on here.
Thank you, Braden. That is Braden Elswich. We got to go to Mama's house. She's got the pasta, the spaghetti, get that garlic bread a little bit maybe as well. I mean, I like a little cheese on my spaghetti, so I'm going to have to talk to Mama about that and see if we can get some spaghetti with cheese, the sauce, obviously, the garlic bread. That's kind of my idea of what the pasta meal should be. I'm just saying. I'm just asking. I'm not lobbying for it, but I'm asking. Quick timeout. We got more from Coach Gibson when we continue on today's edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Save big on everything for your next outdoor project at Menards. Shop the largest selection of AC2 pressure-treated lumber and decking, all easy to load in your vehicle in our drive-through lumber yard. Plus, get free estimates fast using our easy do-it-yourself deck and pergola design programs. Available in-store or on Menards.com. Save big on all pressure-treated lumber and decking, plus check out our weekly flyer for more great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
What is that thing on the two big red eyes and the wings?
Oh yeah, funky babies. Word is that the Mothman has been spotted getting his groove on at the Ritter Park Amphitheater. And did you know Funkafest has expanded to 2 days this year? That's right, Funkafest 9, The Funk Awakens, is October 3rd and 4th in Huntington West by God, Virginia. 2 jam-packed interdimensional days of soul-shaking live music from Sneezy, Jocelyn and the Sweet Compression, the MFB, Jeremy Shore, Joey H, Massey, Chocolate Four-Wheeler, DJ Charlie Black, and more. Plus, visual art, live painting, fire and flow performers, craft beer, food trucks, funky yoga, disc golf, the Kids Corner, and that late-night silent disco on Saturday. Big love to our funky friends, The Loud, Bad Shepherd Beer Company, Vaudehoff, Basque Smokehouse, Luna Pizza, Marshall University Sustainability Department, The Good Time Show, Vandalia Digital, Kindred Communications and Kindred Digital, and Graphic Solutions. Kids 12 and under get in free. Tickets at funkafest.com.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Hey Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. It's that time of year for March basketball. Frank's has you covered from the Sun Belt to the SEC, NBA to the MLB. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials they have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover guitar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Final segment for today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Our text line, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We've got more from Coach Gibson. Today was his media availability. Don't forget, you've also got more Coach Gibson coming up tonight. It is the Tony Gibson Show. We'll have that for you right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. So, yesterday, Coach Smart was asked about how do you prepare for a team like Marshall. There's so many unknowns, and that was sort of my question to Coach earlier today as far as preparing for Georgia. You know a little bit more about Georgia. After all, they are Georgia, but is it similar for Coach Gibson kind of preparing for a team like Georgia when there are a lot of unknowns going into this game?
You know, and again, they have new guys as well. Obviously, they have their quarterback back. They've got the running back back. They got 4 of their 5 offensive linemen, a couple new wide receivers that we've watched that were in other places. And their defensive front, you know, they lost some guys, but obviously they're Georgia. They stockpile them there. So, but just preparing for those kind of guys and you know, the expected. We know the quarterback can run a little bit. We know the tailback's a really, really good player. Their offensive line is big. So, again, how are we going to react? Or are we going to be emotional if something bad happens early, or are we going to be able to put it behind us and move forward? And yeah, that's going to be key for us in this game.
I think Marshall is fortunate to be getting Georgia week 1 because there's so many opportunities here. Georgia might not have it all put together. There could be nerves. I mean, after all, it's Georgia, but still, there are a lot of freshmen on this team. There are a lot of players that haven't played with Georgia before. So you're trying to put it all together. And so there's a lot on the line in a game like this, and something that you got to keep in mind as well. This is going to be the first game for Tony Gibson as the head coach. He's been in big situations. He's been in big games, big venues. He's not new to the world of college football. He's not someone who's still pretty green, right? I think seasoned veteran is a good way to describe him. So it's got to be special for him, though, going into a situation where you're leading the field with your team as the head coach for the first time. What's that going to be like for him? Because he's got to make sure that he's still, I want to say, emotional about it, but it's going to be very hard not to be as you're taking the field as the head coach, first time ever, the Thundering Herd.
Yeah, it's awesome to be able to lead Marshall into Athens, Georgia, and again, it means a lot. Somebody put out, I think our football account put it out. I mean, you got 3 guys on the sideline with West Virginia roots that are calling plays and going to be a part of all this. So it's going to be special, and I can't get caught up in the emotion of that. I got to be a head coach and be able to manage the game.
We got a lot more to get into as we get set for this game, but coming up tonight, it's going to be the Tony Gibson Show. That is 7:05. It's right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. So hopefully everyone can join us for that. And then I'll have a little bit more from Coach tomorrow as well. We'll hear from several players. I'm excited. Already, I'm a big fan of Marvay Myers. Marvay probably, it was very close because Marvay, I think, won the presser for me, but everyone was great to talk to. Katron Evans, I think you're going to like him if you don't already. It was good to talk to him. Of course, Jalen Slappy, he's got that presence and that leadership already. You can just tell the aura is there. Toby Payne is just always great to talk to. So those are some of the guys that we got a chance to talk to today. You're going to hear from all of them. And we're going to hear from you, our text line, all this week and next, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. And a reason I bring that up again is because next week will be the start of our ticket giveaway for this season. We got Georgia get past first. Sorry, I don't have Georgia tickets. But after that, we're going to have you taken care of pretty much the rest of the way, all the home games. So if you don't have that number programmed in now, why not take care of that now? Put it in your phone. You'll be ready to go. And then we'll start doing those giveaways next week. So I'm excited. We'll have more coming up tomorrow, but we've got plenty coming up later on this evening after the Statewide Sports Line. It's going to be Coach Tony Gibson Show. First time this season, 7:05 here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. So I'm excited. You're excited. And I think we're done. We're done slightly early. So don't forget, if you missed anything today, go back and catch it. Available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. That's where you can download the show for free. And if you would hit like, subscribe, follow, as soon as the show is posted, it'll come right to you. That's going to do it for this edition. Thanks for being a part of it. I want to thank our guest today. We're going to his mom's house for spaghetti. It's Braden Elswich. She makes the pasta. That's the pregame meal ritual. And she makes a really good spaghetti. So we're going to her house. Get that sauce in there. Get that cheese. I like the shredded cheese a little bit. You know, almost a Cincinnati style, but not necessarily. You know, I'll throw in a little bit of the Parmesan as well. You know, mix it up. Garlic bread. You got to have the garlic bread. So we're going to Braden Elswich's mom's house, and we're going to go get us some spaghetti. He was great. Looking forward to his success this year for Marshall Cross Country. That's going to do it. Back with you tomorrow here, ESPN 94.1 AM 930.
Broadcasting from the Dave & Buster's studios. Eat, drink, play, and watch at Dave & Buster's in the Huntington Mall. ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. WRBC, W231BS Huntington.